All right, Tesla update here on the 3rd. So, this is interesting because we hit the 1.61 fib on the regular chart, but on the log chart, we didn't come close. I usually put more weight into the log chart than I do the regular chart. So what this is going to do is it's going to make it more possibilities. So hopefully this video is not too confusing because I'm going to have like 3 or 4 different possibilities. But it's just one of those situations where you have to be ready for anything. Here's the first possibility that would throw everybody off. This would throw everybody off. And I've talked about this in the past. But is this an ABC move? Because we did not hit the 1.61 fib on the log chart, in my opinion, this is 5 waves complete, more than likely. And so if that were ABC and then this is an impulse, this would be a really big dark horse. I'll give this a 1 or 2% chance, but is that possible? I would say it's very unlikely. First of all, we don't have any bearish divergence on the weekly. The weekly RSI looks completely fine. The daily RSI does not look good right now, but the weekly does. So I give that very, very little possibilities. However, that is a possibility. This is 5 waves right here. This was a second or a B wave, and then this was 5 waves right here. So that is technically an ABC move. It wasn't the best impulse if you're looking for a 3rd wave. Normally, I'm looking for something to break the top of this parallel line. Not even close. So there's some things it has going for it. Right now, it seems kind of funny to even suggest this could go down to 200 bucks. And so, yeah, I give that a 1 to 2% chance. That's the first possibility. Now let's go over the 2 that I think are most likely. So it is kind of tough because this area right here is tough to say if this is 4th wave and we're going to make a 5th wave higher right here, or did the 5th wave already end right here? And based on what I'm seeing on the daily RSI, I'm going to say the 5th wave already ended right here. So what that means is this is likely, we'll say 3 or C. So the first possibility would be the C wave. This possibility would be the 3rd wave is ended, and we're in the middle of an overall 4th wave. Remember that regular chart? It hit the 1.61 fib. So that means that this is a start of a 4th wave down. We got an impulse down here. It's kind of a weird one. It's 5 waves down. And so that would make this, ignore this for right now. For right now, this is what I think is a 5th wave. Makes this 3 or C. This would have to be A or 1. And I would lean towards this being A or 1. So that means we should be seeing a short-term retrace. Who knows to what amount? Probably like 450. If they really want to be tricky, they can just take it down right away. But then we should see more downside to potentially 387 bucks. There's that gap at 397 that we could be looking at as well. Could just be 397. If you want to get really tricky, that's my number 1 possibility, I'll say. That's number 1. Just an ABC move down like that. That should take us down enough to fill this gap, and then we can go up. That's my number 1 possibility. The trickier possibility would be a diagonal. So diagonal would just be something like that. Why does that make sense? We have bearish momentum on the daily, making lower lows. 419 was, and honestly, 419 is one of the reasons why these possibilities are more likely. It broke below that on lower lows with RSI, and we're at the top of the standard deviation. So it would not surprise me if we got a drawn out fourth wave. This took how long? Took about a month and a half. So I wouldn't be surprised if we sat in this area through earnings, maybe even into early November, and then shot up here for a wave 5. That would not surprise me. It would not surprise me if a diagonal happened either, and then we went up to 600 bucks. The one that I am writing off for now, but I'm still open to, and I said this in the previous video, this is likely an expanded flat. This one I'm writing off for now. I don't see it happening. But if it does happen, then okay. Would be just straight going up here to 513 from here. I don't see that happening. I don't see any reason why that would happen anytime soon. Earnings are coming up. There's no reason to run up to 513 bucks into earnings unless there's some crazy catalyst. So I think this one's going to need catalyst for me to change my mind about this being A or 1, and instead being the end of the fourth wave and being what I originally had said was an expanded flat. So those are the 4 possibilities I see. Of the 4 possibilities, I'm leaning towards either this or that. Those are the 2 possibilities I would lean to most. They bring the price down and the standard deviation to a reasonable level, and then it can run up and have more room to run. The least likely at this point, in my opinion, is we just go straight up here to 513. And the dark horse is going to be the dark horse is the market crashes basically, and Tesla comes all the way down here to 200 bucks. So those are the 4 possibilities I see, and I gave you the 2 most likely based on different factors. Again, the weekly, though, the reason I think it's going to go to higher highs, the weekly looks completely fine to me. There's no bearish divergence. It just needs to cool off a little bit. So that's another reason why I think it makes more sense that we're in the middle of a fourth wave, or we're potentially going to get this diagonal down here and then go up like that. So that's all I got right now. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe. Oh, actually, I did not say this. Palantir has the same setup as Tesla. Lower low, lower low. So Palantir is likely bearish short term as well. But we'll see how it goes. If Palantir does what I said is unlikely on Tesla and just goes like this, it's going to be a really good short, because you're going to get something like that, and you could short up in this area. I mean, it would be all-time highs, but you could short on the bearish divergence, and if for some reason it takes it out, you could put a stop loss in. So that's my thoughts on Palantir and Tesla, but mostly Tesla. A lot of different possibilities. People want it to be cut and dry and give you one possibility, but it's not that. It's Tesla. You got to have a different alt count for different situations, and you got to go from there. So overall bullish, short term bearish on Tesla, and that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.